little bit short of pace with the break off, so he has left that possible red for the right corner. But talking about records, Mark Selby already equaled one of Stephen Hendry's, the second debutant here at the Masters to be in 3 consecutive finals. Well, an early chance for Ronnie O'Sullivan, and it's a pretty good one at that. You can expect both players to be a little bit edgy in this opening frame, but yes, way back, almost 20 years ago since Stephen Hendry got to those 3 finals in a row.
Yeah, and of course he won all of them, didn't he? It was amazing.
One.
Can't do much with the cue ball, as you could see. Dead straight. The one next to the yellow was always going to be available.
6.
There's a new cloth and on the table for the semi-finals, and seems to be playing just as well. Very lively,
7.
very responsive. A couple of reds that Ronnie can play on here. He can't go into the bunch. He's just overscrewed that somewhat. He's going to have to take the one down the left side of the table. He was playing for a choice
11.
of reds into the right corner. And of course, with the black offward spot, not quite straightforward.
Right. 12.
A little bit lower on this black than he would have liked, and it all depends. If you can just drop it in dead weight and not have to do a lot with the cue ball. But if he has to put any pace in this pot, the black's missable.
That's what he'd like to be able to play. Somewhere there would leave him on a red.
$19.
Just have
20.
a quick chat to Ronnie beforehand in the players' lounge downstairs, and he was very relaxed, very happy. A few friends around. Damien Hirst was there. He's in the audience this evening, as was Anthony Genn out of the Hours
27.
group. That's the music that Ronnie come into there. In fact, they're both there. Damien on the left and Anthony on the right. 2 smashing fellas. Damien Hirst, Turner Prize
28.
winner, John. Renowned artist. Just overscrewed that. Shows you how lively the cloth is. Look how far he's overscrewed that. He can
35.
still pot the red, but this means controlling the cue ball is much more difficult here. He's missed it.
Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Hasn't left
35.
anything, but it was a good chance. This is the shot. He just overscrewed that. It's so difficult on these lively cloths, John, isn't it, to control that cue ball?
Yes, it is, and particularly in the first frame. You just got a little bit of extra tension in the arm. Just cause you to sometimes just get through the ball a little bit too much.
Foul. The miss.
Do you know, he
Mark
may have
Selby,
got away
7.
with this. I think the only possible pot would be a plant in the middle pocket. But he was rather fortunate there. It was a very thin contact. He was looking and there wasn't much room and he missed the reds completely. But there's a possibility he could make that plant. He's pretty good at this type of shot, Mark Selby. He did win the 8-ball World Pool Championship some years back.
One. Six. Seven.
Yeah, that was a good positional shot.
14.
Well, he's having a close look, so maybe he just hasn't run far enough. He knew he always had the one to the left middle.
$15.
As long as you get the right side of the blue, but a little bit more angle than this would have been better, you would have thought. He's not played that as well as he could have. Just a slight angle, but it should have been more of an angle than this.
I'm not sure if one of the reds goes. If he gets the white somewhere near there, it would possibly leave a gap. It depends if the first one will go. Well, he had a slight angle, so has he found that gap, or does the end red pot? Must be pretty tight, this.
20.
Ah, it's okay.
$21.
And this time it's Mark's turn to overscrew. Played for the blue, but he's still okay. But it just shows you, as John mentioned, a little bit of tension in the arm and the opening frame. They're just overdoing things slightly. But how costly is that mistake going to be that Ronnie made?
24.
And here's the fabulous trophy for the Masters. Waterford Crystal. In the meantime, straighter on this red wouldn't have been a problem. But he's just got the angle where he may be running into another red. So he's got a little bit of work to do here with the cue ball. He may be able to miss the red and go for the black in the same pocket, but it's all about fractions here.
25.
Well, he had the line, but it's one of those he probably felt if he hit it a little bit harder, the cue ball could have thrown. So not even a thought of the pot.
Mark Selby,
Just playing
25.
a little tuck up behind the black. Didn't make the most of that, though.
Yeah, I think you got it absolutely right there, John. If he had played it any harder, he would have maybe flicked the other red. Got to be careful here. Got to judge this correctly, otherwise you could leave one on. Just delicate little nestle onto the reds.
I assume that Ronnie can just get past the pink just to clip off this red. I don't think there's a way of getting back to the ball, Ken. He's just looking where he's pointing his cue. If he leaves the cue ball in or near the jaws of this corner pocket, will he leave anything to the middle? Well, he may have left a possibility here. I wouldn't say it's easy, but he may be able to get through to this red, to the right middle. It's not that easy to tell from that shot. You'd have to be right behind the line.
I'll just have a look at the tournament pot success rate. Both players on 90%.
It's never a good shot when you're that close to the reds and you catch a boat colour and full on as he's caught the yellow. May not be a pot on, but with Ronnie with his hand on the table, you could expect a better safety than that, and a possibility he could get this cue ball back behind the yellow. And a snooker at this stage of the frame could win it here.
Not quite. There might be a possibility of a pot here. It's a bit of a guide past the pink to clip the red, and it will go close to the left corner pocket. It's one of those where it helps the pink being where it is.
Yeah, it wasn't one of Ronnie's best, that. Mark with his hand on the table. Chance to pot this, as you say, Dennis.
Totally mishit. Well, has he got away with it? I mean, he has at first glance, because he's covered the red that's near the middle pocket, the one to the left corner, the pink's hampering him for that. I don't think he can get through to maybe try and double this red onto the one that's over the pocket, the one on the left side of the table. He may be forced into attempting that. He thought he was going to miss the cannon on the red that was near the cushion, but if he can't get the white in behind the black, he may have to try and double this red onto the one that's over the pocket. He could take the double on and try and play a sort of a safety shot at the same time, but and that's exactly what he played, and he played it well.
Yeah, there was value in playing the double, because even if he didn't pot it, and he wasn't far away from potting it, at least he cleared the red away from the middle, and he's got a good cue ball. So Ronnie was very fortunate there. Having hit the ball so badly, he could have left an easy chance and a frame-winning one for Mark Selby.
Well, it looks as if he's looking at the pot. There's just a little bit of a disturbance in the crowd at the moment. Might just have to wait for a second or two.
Just ring.
Yeah, it might just take a couple of moments to resolve this.
Get some medical people or something.
But Ronnie was debating whether to take this pot on. There's only two shots available. Just roll to the red. He's now looking at putting the white over on the right side cushion, but that would leave a pot. He may be forced into trying to pot this. As long as the white, well, the kiss on the blue has left a pot for Mark Selby. Had he have missed the cannon on the blue, he could have got it safe.
One.
Nicely played. Black will be his choice because the potted angle of the pink doesn't really offer him a straightforward run to the at least the red near the right middle. Right in the heart of the pocket. It's a reasonable chance, this.
Nine.
Yeah, he's got a choice of reds to play on here. One to the right of the yellow, the one to the left of the green. He could have gone a bit further up the table to leave a
14.
slightly easier pot than this.
Just wondering, playing for this one, whether the other red passes the green.
No, it doesn't pass the green. He'd have to take
15.
it into the left corner pocket, wouldn't he? But you see, he's run out of position, but it was the shot previously. Just a simple little stun down. The red won't go in that pocket, but it goes in the other. But that's all history now because he's played a bad positional shot.
Well, on the face of it, I don't think he's touching ball, but thin off the blue and just try and find the spot behind the black. It's usually the idea. Well, it must have been declared a touching ball.
Mark Selby, 15.
Little kiss on the black will do. Couldn't have worked out better, but fortunate. Without the kiss, it wouldn't have been a snooker, but it is, and Ronnie with a big problem.
Oh, dear
A
me.
miss.
What a shot that would have been.
Mark Selby.
Because he's got to cover the other red, and he almost did that. I mean, I don't know whether he can get as close this time to dropping in behind it without snookering Mark on the red to the left of the green. But that was a great effort. He should have much harder this time, and I think he has left that red. Even though he's got out of the snooker, he's left a pot on for Mark. The first attempt was so close to perfection. This was the first attempt, and oh dear me.
Good pot, and he's got the angle on the blue. The only problem he's got to be careful of here is the yellow and the brown getting in his way, but he should be able to stun him between those. And he has done. And that just, if that just stops short the top cushion,
6.
that is absolutely inch perfect.
Seven.
So the brown and the yellow, and the first frame will go to the man from Leicester.
Yes, it's been a pretty quiet opening frame. Neither player had
11.
a good chance in around the black spot area. But I think it was so important for Mark Selby to get off to a good start here. And he has done that.
$16. $20. $25.
Well, it looks as if he wants to try and pot the
31.
black as well. Might as well clear the lot. Trick shot maybe? No? Just a straightforward attempt at the cut, but
31
a very good start from Mark Selby. No breaks in the opening frame,
Mark Selby.
but he takes it and he leads 1-0.
Well, it's set up at the moment. It could be a cracker this afternoon. Here's hoping.
Early days.
Well, poor break-off shot. Ronnie played a poor break-off shot in the first frame. Mark Selby's returned a compliment. Caught the safety much too thick. Now how's Ronnie's long potting? A long way away with that one.
A little wry smile from Ronnie there. And you know, it's amazing, John. It can become a bit psychological, you know. People keep talking, and Ronnie keeps talking about his long potting's not there. And, you know, the more you play it, the more you convince yourself that you're not knocking the long ones in. But his game is terrific, it has to be said. And in his match against Mark Williams, he potted his fair share of long ones.
Yeah, it wasn't us that started the ball rolling, really, was it? It was Ronnie who keeps saying he can't pot a long ball anymore. I see nothing wrong with his game. He's played some wonderful snooker, as you say, this week.
Yeah, I mean, his match against Neil Robertson, 3-0 behind, that was a bit special. And then against Mark Williams, well, that was one of the finest matches you could ever wish to see. It's a complete contrast, this final, to Mark Selby's quarter-final match against the young Irish player, Mark Allen, County Antrim in Northern Ireland. That was just fun all the way through. The crowd really got involved in it. The first frame, they were both missing shots, and Mark Allen got a coin out to toss it up and decide who would win the opening frame. But we won't have any of that in the final, as John Parrott said after that final in Wales a couple of years ago. There's a little bit of needle between the players, and that's not a bad thing either. Don't blame Mark Selby. 8-5 down to come back and beat Ronnie in the final of that Welsh Open was quite an achievement, regardless of how he done it. Nothing wrong with a bit of tactics. That was a good shot from Ronnie. It's just one red that Mark can possibly get back down the table. If he's just looking to see if he can spot another one, and we'll just swing around and show you what he's looking at. That one to the right, if he tried a thin one off that, he could go in off, and that's what he's trying. So got to judge this correctly. Caught the jaws, and well, he's left a bit of a chance for Ronnie. Not an easy chance by any means. Well, if he was looking at the black to see if it would pass the red, the only shot he could play would be to cannon onto the red to the right of the black, and that would be a bit of a shot if he pulled that off. The alternative is to play it on for the blue, which he has done.
1.
Well, he's come very straight on the blue. He's got a choice of the green. Just having a look what reds are available. I think before he was looking to see if the black does go to the left corner, so he may be able to play on a red to get on the black after this blue. Well, he may be looking now to see if it goes in the right corner.
6.
I think it does. Clearly does. So just stun this red in.
7.
Just didn't hit that well. He didn't hit that well. Didn't get through it at all, really. Just off straight, and
Ronnie groaning to himself there. It's a while since I've seen him so disappointed in a shot, but it was a very poor shot, it has to be said.
just hit it too far below centre. It was a stun shot, and he just got a little bit low on the cue ball and took the pace out of it. This black is missable.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 7.
That cue ball should have bounced off the cushion and left him a straighter black. It's always difficult, as we say, playing into a blind pocket, which basically is you can see the cue ball, you can see the object ball, but you don't have the pocket in your eye line. And that was a good chance. He didn't make the most of it.
One.
Played for a ball colour there, but he knew he always had the black right over the pocket. Now, he should be able to control this, and There's a couple of reds he can leave himself on here.
Eight.
I know it's very early days in
Nine.
this final, best of 19, but if Mark Selby could take this second frame, he would ask a big question of Ronnie, because Ronnie's focus throughout this Masters has been superb. That was the first time we've seen a reaction like that from him.
16. Seventeen. $22. $23.
That's gone wrong. He played the cannon, but he
30.
wanted a full ball cannon. And once he caught a half ball, it just nudged the cue ball into that cluster. That's end of break. So it's not the most fluent start from both players.
He's let Ronnie off there completely, because what you've got to do if your opponent's under a little bit of pressure, and Ronnie was disgusted with his positional shot. Mark had every chance of making enough there to secure this second frame. That was a careless little cannon that he played. Played to hit that fuller. It was a poor shot, it has to be said. It is a touching ball, so he can quite easily get up to the baulk end of the table with the aid of a spider. That's a bit of a stretch, that.
Mark Selby, 30.
I don't know if there's a gap here between the yellow and the blue to leave a straight red to this right corner. He's having a look. No, not quite. Can't get through to it. So he's looking for a safety. Just got to be careful here. There's two reds near the top cushion. He doesn't want to be knocking one of those over the corner pocket. He's played it well. Good shot.
I think Ronnie just had a word with Jan Verhaas, the referee. Just wants another cloth, I think it is. He did have a cloth, but yeah, he just put that one on the floor, so there might be a little bit of fluff coming off it. The old tea towel. You can't beat the tea towel, John. There's never any fluff comes off a tea towel.
Foul. Ronnie
Well, it
O'Sullivan,
looked like
4.
a good safety till it ran off. I don't think he really played the pot there, because if he'd have played the pot, he'd been running into the black. I think his main concern was to get the cue ball back to the ball Ken. Now Ronnie's lining this up. This red. Depends how some people like to line these up dead straight, some just off straight. Just off straight for Ronnie. And played it beautifully and nicely on the black. That'll make him settle down and feel a bit better, I'm certain.
Ronnie says he's can't knock a long one in. What was that we just witnessed? Beautiful shot.
8.
Cued to perfection.
Yeah, and interesting, he didn't set it up dead straight, did he? He just sent it just off straight, so maybe he just feels that he's more comfortable
9.
not having to hit the cue ball dead in the middle. He just underhit that a little. He didn't want to be this close to the side cushion. And it just made that little screw shot that little bit more difficult. He's not
16.
perfect on this red.
That's a pretty good recovery because, as you said, John, his previous shot he underhit it, didn't cue it as smoothly as he normally does. So that in-off could prove to be quite costly.
21. $22.
This was the in-off.
$27.
Only had a quick look at the scoreboard, and he's going to need one of the difficult reds that's near the cushion.
$28.
And immediately he's played for one of the difficult reds. And
35.
we know these are tricky. You've got to hit them correctly, otherwise they won't drop.
36. $43. $44.
Couldn't hold for the blue, so he needs a good shot now, a good positional shot to get nicely on this red. He's got a 25-point lead. So after this brown, yeah, well, he's played for the red along the top cushion, and that's his inch perfect. If he had picked it up and put it there with his hand, he couldn't have placed it better. This red and the black needed. And no
49.
problem. And the black will put him 37 points in front with only 35 remaining.
Yes, Mark Selby has let him off the hook here in this frame. He had a great chance when he played a poor positional shot and snookered himself on a pot.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 56.
Yeah, and I think more so, Dennis, he missed the chance because, okay, that was a nice little break there from Ronnie to put Mark Selby in the snooker's required stage, but you just got the feeling that Ronnie hadn't settled. And as you said at the time, if Mark Selby could have won this second frame, could have got Ronnie thinking a little bit. But unless he gets that snooker, Ronnie's going to take this second frame.
Yeah, he hadn't got a good angle to play for the red, the right side of the table, so he played for the more difficult red and, well, couldn't have judged that better. That was superb. But this frame's not over yet. Just one snooker required.
I think it's when you only need one snooker. If Mark Selby does get the opportunity, there's no reason he shouldn't pot this red in a high value colour and then start trying to get snookers from yellow onwards. A bit harder, and he may have got that cue ball in behind the black there. Good shot from Ronnie. Looks like an easy swerve to hit the red, but it's the old story. It's not so much hitting it. Can he get it safe?
Might get a snooker back here. Every chance. Played beautifully.
Yes, well called, Dennis. That was superb. I don't think he's cut off the one cushion escape, but it was a terrific swerve and well controlled. But with the one cushion escape available, you didn't expect Ronnie to miss it. Probably trying to get this behind the black again. Just got to avoid the double kiss here. He's done that, and this looks a nice length. Just not quite enough. Another fraction, and he'd have cut out the one cushion escape. Just swerving it past the middle pocket. Shouldn't be a problem hitting the red.
Just watch the in off. If he hits it half ball, well, he's missed it.
Foul. Mark Selby 4.
All of a sudden, Mark Selby right back in this. Didn't take the pot on there because he needs to get pink or black off this last red to score enough to win the frame. And Ronnie can see enough of this. He'd like to see this red disappear into the corner pocket. Well, that's another cracking long pot. So really, two long pots have more or less given this second frame, John.
Yes, it was
3.
a little bit careless of Mark Selby, having got the snooker to leave that
5.
red on. But nevertheless, good pot from Ronnie. And as we always say, you never really settle until you get a frame on the board. Well, they've both got the frame on the
8.
board, and I expect the standard of play now to improve dramatically.
12,
and clearing these up left-handed.
7,
Sometimes you don't realize he switched hands.
23, and a frame.
Not bothered about the black. It was a frame that could have gone either way. Ronnie was struggling halfway through it, but Mark Selby couldn't take advantage, and we're all square, one apiece.
And Mark did lose control of the cue ball and stick on a ball during that break. And at this level, those mistakes become costly.
Especially in a final of this magnitude. Okay, frame 3.
Just the one red that Mark Selby can see, but he's just looking, in fact, to see if he can take it on in such a way that he wouldn't leave an easy pot. This will be a test of Mark's cue action. And you would have to say that's pretty good. Superb cueing there. Four frames to be played before the mid-session interval, as normal. Let's just put the pink out of commission, but the black is in the clear, certainly to one corner pocket. He'd like the black to pot into the left corner, as Jan Verhaas gets it as close as possible in a direct line behind the pink spot there and in line with the black and other colors, blue and brown.
Seven. Mark Selby, 7.
Jan Verhaas doing the final here this year. Michaela Tab was supposed to be doing it, but Michaela's dear old man passed away, 95 years of age, and Michaela's gone back home. It's the funeral tomorrow, but we're thinking about you, Michaela. She did the World Championship last season. Great referee. Not the best from Ronnie there, you can tell by his reaction.
Well, that would be disappointing for Mark Selby to miss that. And having missed it, he'll be thankful that the cue ball's finished almost tight against the side cushion. Makes this pot very difficult. Oh, but beautifully played.
1.
Well, that's a tremendous shot from Ronnie. That really is. That is top draw. Now, he has an angle to play the cannon, or he could go up the table for the red to the right middle and then leave himself on the blue to go into the cluster. I think that's what he's trying. Well, he's playing for the red to the left corner, but
8.
you'd think sooner rather than later he'll be looking for an angle on the blue to try and smash this pack of reds open.
Yeah, it's a shot he played against Mark Williams and knocked 2 reds in the semi-final. Almost cost him that semi-final.
Well, this is it. He won't be holding back here. Beautifully played. The only downside I see is maybe the black isn't available into the right corner. But it looks as though the pink's in the open, so he can play for the pink off the next red. When you open them up like this, what you're looking for is a nice, easy red to continue. And this looks straightforward enough. Does he play for the black or the pink?
15.
The black goes, obviously. Just let it run a little bit loose, but you wouldn't expect him to miss this.
$22.
Play for the
23.
red that's near the left corner pocket. It's blocking the path of the black into that. And once he gets this out of the way, great chance.
30.
Had a break of 56 in the previous frame. So it's building up very nicely
31.
here.
$38. $39. $44. $45. $51.
A couple of frames that have just gone beyond the 20 minutes, 22 and 23 minutes. I can tell you what, this one won't last that
52.
long. He's only been going just over 4 minutes with this effort. A few more pots and the frame's over.
58. $59.
Not quite
66.
far enough, so change of plan here. Well, tell you what, he almost
67.
missed that and he's ran out of position. A quick glance round at the scoreboard. That really did wipe its feet. Well, that definitely secures this third frame.
69. $70.
Possible chance of a century here. One difficult red. Ronnie's already made 3 here in this year's Masters.
77.
But there's only been 15 centuries so far. And it's way behind last year, and that's
78.
an indication of how tight these tables are playing.
$85.
Well, that's a terrific shot. And when you consider he played it left-handed, even more notorious.
86.
But now the cue ball's finished there. He'll do well to make the century. It's going to be tough to get on that last red.
Well, it was worth an attempt. He got over to the
56,
last
and
red,
then-
but it was a magnificent effort from Ronnie O'Sullivan. all made about with that split when he potted the blue and opened the bunch. And that break of 86 gives him the third frame. It's 2-1 to the Rocket.
He doesn't look
Thank
like
you. The
missing.
fourth frame, Mark Selby to break.
So the first interval coming up after this frame. I'm sure Mark Selby would like to go into it 2 apiece. It just signs that Ronnie is beginning to get his cue arm going. Looked a bit shaky the first 2 frames. I feel that Mark Selby maybe should have won them both. Quite a way away with that one, wasn't he? Played it in such a way that he felt the only red he could leave was the one he played, but funnily enough, he may have left that red just on the D line, but definitely available. There's 2 ways of looking at this, Dennis, isn't there? The fact that Mark Selby didn't take the chance in the second frame, which he should have done when Ronnie looked a little bit shaky. But at the moment, Mark Selby doesn't look to be playing well enough. He missed a chance in the last frame and he didn't get too close with that one.
Well, he hit it so poorly that he cannoned into the green, and that was why he left the chance. It was a bit of a shot to nothing, really, and once again, Ronnie's left with an angle on the blue. This was the attempt. He was trying to get back up for the black and just cannoned straight into the green, but here we go again with Ronnie O'Sullivan cannoning straight into the pink here. And there we go. Not quite as good a split this time.
6.
A terrific round of applause. He played it well, but it didn't open as nice. He's on a red, but the black's awkward, the pink's awkward.
Yeah, I think that's the key, isn't it? The black is slightly out of commission. I'm not certain if the black will be available at some time into the right corner, because there is a red he could play on to play position on the black. In the meantime, he needs a good angle on the
7.
green or the blue, and it looks like he's just about got far enough on the green. Yeah, that's okay. Nice angle.
Yeah, you mentioned John, he might be able to get on the black. I'm looking at the angle. If he could get the white in the circle, he could pop the red to the left of the black and possibly leave it into the corner. But he's got other options available to him here, but that's what he's attempted.
And
10.
I can only assume that the black does go into the right corner. If it does... Well, that was better. That was the stun off the top cushion that he played earlier on and just left the cue ball near the top cushion. He's very disappointed with it, but he played that one better. Now, where does the black go when it's re-spotted? I don't know whether it's going to be available into both corner pockets. Ronnie
18.
just having a look. At the moment, I think he'd be happy if it just went into the right corner. Oh, it does go in this left corner, so this is a tremendous chance.
19. $26. 27.
Mentioned earlier about the century breaks. There was 27 made in the Masters last season, 15 at the moment. So it does tell you that the pockets are playing much tighter, and it's a good thing, really. It's a good test for the players. And a high break is 140, which is still very high. That's held by Stephen Maguire
34.
and Neil Robertson. So they've got £5,000 each at the moment. unless one of these two players beats that in the final here.
$35.
Good in the hole for the black, so going up for a baulk colour. It's all about the pace here. Got a choice, I think, green or brown. He's choosing the green. There's a red in the middle of the table that will go into the left corner. Just got into that a little bit too much, so he may have to play one of the three reds that are close to the pink here.
38.
Not certain this is the red he played for. But it doesn't matter. In it
39.
goes. Just overdid it slightly. A little bit straighter on this blue. Would have had more control of the cue ball. May be able to hold it.
Yeah, he may have to just change his plan of attack and play for the red that's next to the black, simply because he did just overdo it slightly there. But and that's the one he's played up on. There's two reds available in that bunch to the pocket he's
44.
potting this red into. So now that seemed to jump a little bit.
45.
He's going to have to play the cannon now. Well, this one goes in the left corner, so he didn't have to bother with the cannon. So he doesn't have to play any cannons here. He can win the frame quite comfortably with the way they're situated. I think Mark will be pleased to see the
53.
mid-session interval coming up, because Ronnie is certainly in stroke at the moment.
$58.
Just not far enough down. He played for obviously the red closest to the black. He was thinking he could reach it left-handed, but having to play with the rest. No problem going up for the blue, but he's overhit it slightly.
59.
But removing that red has certainly made a red available into the left corner, so just a straightforward pot the blue, bounce off the top cushion.
So, Jeff, he's good with the right hand, he's good with the left hand,
64.
he's good with the rest. There's not many weaknesses, is there?
There is one weakness,
65.
Dennis, that all snooker players have. When you're sat in your seat, you can't score. And Mark Selby's missed the chance for me, particularly in the second frame, to put a little bit of pressure on Ronnie. And Ronnie now looks to be flying. He'll be unlucky here if he's not on a red.
The frame's safe, but he was looking for the century break, and he might have had a chance to beat the high break there. In fact, there wasn't enough to beat the high break. But he's put a bit of side on it.
73.
He swerved that to make the potting angle. He's made 588 centuries in his illustrious career.
79.
Stephen Hendry is just over 740. Ronnie's the closest to Stephen
80.
Hendry.
$87. $88.
Wrong angle on the blue. This would be a good shot left-handed. Just watch this to get on this last red. That is quite remarkable.
94.
That
95.
last shot played like that, John, with the left hand is quite special.
Well, a lot of people have had a struggle with it, playing it right-handed. But a marvellous century break, and there's just signs here, Dennis, that he's getting into overdrive.
104.
Mark Selby has had a few chances, and he didn't take them, and Ronnie's confidence now seems to have taken a real boost. And when he's in
107.
this type of form, anything can happen.
111. 116.
This check side, everything he can
122.
do with his left hand, it's just incredible. Trick shot. 4 cushions. Well, it's not there, but it wouldn't matter. But as I say, certain signs there that Ronnie O'Sullivan was starting to really get into top gear. Mark Selby's got a little bit to think about, even this early in the match. Going to the first mid-session interval. Ronnie O'Sullivan leading 3-1.
Well, mid-session interval over. Ronnie O'Sullivan, a more relaxed Ronnie O'Sullivan, I'm sure, having started very, very scrappy early on, looks to be in fine form in the last 2.5 frames where he just dominated the game. A session now, Ken, I think Mark's got to think 5-3 behind, I'll be happy with. Anything else is a bonus.
Well, yes, but as we said, he's a great competitor. He's been in this situation many, many times. Had some fantastic matches with O'Sullivan. The final here last year, of course, the semi-final in the UK Championships where O'Sullivan made a maximum break in the final frame. But he's a great competitor. Very early stages, of course, but I'd love to get a couple more frames at least out of this session. Be getting a couple more frames if he plays shots like that. A very easy opener, you'd have to say, for O'Sullivan. A little bit tricky down the cushion, but he's knocked a few of these in over the last couple of frames.
Yes, it's almost a good shot. Nothing that from Mark. He's obviously played to finish higher on the black, then this red wouldn't be on, but just underhit it slightly. So O'Sullivan finished with 1-2-2 and is back in very early. And this is the shot that Ronnie plays better than any player at all, when he plays a stun up into the pack. A lot of players screw into these reds and you tend to lose the white a little bit. Ronnie tends to force the pack with a stun shot rather than a screw. You see, he's not as low as most players would be here. He just plays it up there to keep the white in among them. Okay, it's not worked out that time, but at least he played it properly.
8.
Just not quite sure whether the two reds close together, the top of those goes into this right middle, obviously does, so doesn't have to worry about the white here beyond the blue. Just drop this in. Good shot.
9.
I think the red passes the yellow, will he, into this corner pocket? Otherwise, well, it doesn't. So I thought it did because of the way he played the white onto the brown. He's going to have to play the blue here, I think.
Pink's just a fraction off its spot, so it's not necessarily the shot to play into the pink here unless you're guaranteed it full ball. Playing it plain ball, he would probably kiss into the outside red of the two loose reds, and there you can see the pink off its spot. And that would push the red towards the right-hand corner. That's just A, to slow the white down, and B, hopefully to leave a pot in the middle or the corner. But he's queuing very low. He may feel that he's going to play into the pink. That's what he did, and played it beautifully. Very, very good.
Excellent shot.
14.
And he's played a number of these blues over the last couple of frames. Absolutely perfect. Love to leave a nice angle on
15.
this black here. Now we can go into the pack. Doesn't have to, of course, but the fact that this red is over the left-hand corner pocket gives him a lot of insurance. Yeah, didn't want to go in too hard, just to a little nudge, bring another 1 or 2
22.
into play, and that's a very good shot there.
$23. Sure.
Similar scenario here, he doesn't have the perfect angle, so he might just use one of the reds just to slow the cue ball down. There's a red to the outside of the pack that my colleague Ken's going to put a little line up when Jan gets out of the way for us there. That's the cannon I'd think he'd like to play, just to slow the white down for no other reason than that. Well, he's not made the cannon, so red slightly more difficult than he wanted.
30. $31.
Yes, here's the cannon again. Second chance at it. Just a little nudge on that red, and that's perfect. And he may have a lovely angle on this red, Willie. He can just drop this red in,
38.
cannon into those 4 reds, and maybe bring another 1 or 2 of those reds into play. There you see, just a beautiful little
39.
cannon he played there. How's that bottom red of the tree on from this angle? It's hard to say. He's just coming around to have a look.
When JP was having a little chat with us, Ken, in the commentary box here before we came out to live play, he was saying it's amazing how Ronnie visualises chances very, very quickly, quicker than most. And he's done that exactly the same here. He's played 2 little kisses that all of a sudden have opened reds up that some other people might not have played.
46.
Yes, he's very aggressive, isn't he, when he gets in around the balls, wants them as open as quickly as possible. And that's what makes him such a wonderful break builder.
$47.
That may turn out to be okay. That's if he can miss the kiss on the red that's nearest the pink. If he can just play the little screw shot into the 3 reds, that will open everything. I'm not too sure that he can miss the first red, though. Fraction thicker on this pink, he could have definitely played that. If it's not on, he'll just nudge the red over the corner. One thing for certain, he will be playing some sort of kiss here. Yeah, just kissing the red over the corner. And played it beautifully.
$53. $54.
Yes, there you see that red does go, and he can use that red to bring the other 2 into play as well. Already has a 54-point lead, so they purposely see him leaving himself low on this red.
61.
He just hasn't played a
62.
bad shot in this break. He played 1 cannon on a red. We put the line up, and he got the cannon second time, but he didn't get it the first time. That's the only poor shot he's played in this break. Every other shot is brought red out after red out after red out. And all of a sudden now, he looks certain to win the frame.
Well, 69 ahead, so just this red. That's another frame on the board.
70.
He really is hitting the ball beautifully, isn't he? Well, the last 3
77.
frames have been top drawer.
78. $85. 86.
Finish frame 4 with a break of 1-2-2. Possibilities of another centre here, but that's gone a little bit astray. Red
93.
and black or pink will suffice. Ideally, he'd like to get on the yellow, but from here, he might not play for the yellow. The only reason I suggested the yellow is because it means
94.
that red will pot. I don't know how he's going to get the next
Such an
red.
amazing shot with her left hand. It's just incredible how he can play these shots left-handed. Difficult enough right-handed, let me tell you.
Well,
Particularly into a blind pocket as well.
He's having a look if the red will on the cushion pots, and if it doesn't, the red next to the yellow will possibly pass the green into the corner. Surely he's not going to try and finish on it in that pocket. He's played the cannon. Hello? Has he got second prize? No, he doesn't pass there.
101.
He's not that good, Willie, is he?
Foul.
Oops.
Well, it was another fantastic century from Ronnie O'Sullivan. 1-2-2 in frame 40-3-1. 101 in this frame to go further clear. He now leads Mark Selby by 4 frames to 1.
Yes, a very important frame. These next couple of frames for Mark Selby. But I think the beauty of this final, Willie, first to 10, wins that wonderful
Thank
trophy.
you, frame 6.
So there's still
Mark Selby to break.
no time to panic just yet.
Mark Selby, one of the few players to play the break off in behind the yellow rather than behind the green. And in doing that, he's not leaving that long red on that a lot of players have been doing all week. He has left a pot on here, and Ronnie could even play for the black, funny enough. He could play this screw just across the face of the pink. And it's a shot to nothing if he plays it that way.
Yes, that's something like the pat Ronnie would like the cue ball to take. Won't be leaving anything, of course, only the red he's going for. No, he can only leave
Cameras
this
away now,
red.
please.
Can only possibly leave that red, and I don't think he has. I think the black is covered into the corner, so he's okay.
And that's the difference sometimes with a bit of luck, isn't it? The red goes 2 inches high and Mark's got the pot on. The previous frame, Mark's white could have been 2 inches high. Ronnie wouldn't have had the chance with the 101. And we talk about fractions, Ken, and it is about fractions, this game.
Max just got to be careful here, just looking to see if there's any plans for any of these reds going over this right corner pocket. Well, one red has popped out. And again, left Ronnie shot to nothing. Okay, it's a good length with the cue ball, but he certainly won't be happy. These are only 50-50 whether O'Sullivan pots this or not. He hasn't been knocking too many of these reds in. He's been great when he gets in amongst the balls, but these type of shots have been letting him down. And there you see it, just seemed to hit a little bit tick there. Well, he hasn't been very consistent in the long ball department, has he?
Yeah, the kind of shots, though, you'd expect him to get. The fact that it's a shot to nothing, there's not quite the same pressure on the pot, but once again, hit it far too thick. I mean, the cue ball goes into baulk if he hits it the way he wanted to. So Mark Selby now knows this is a good chance. And you're not going to get many with O'Sullivan playing like this in the balls. You have to take your chances when they come.
There you see 2 reds available. May try and get on, leave himself options of those 2 reds. They're obviously the red just right of the pink spot as well that's available. This is the type of situation where you can leave yourself options. You can leave yourself high on the pack or low on the pack. You'll still be on a red. So if he overscrews this green, he's still okay. And that's an excellent positional shot.
4.
Yeah, Mark so far just a couple of contributions of 30 or above, so we know what a great
Five.
Mark Selby is. He just needs to get in that mode. He needs to win a frame at one visit. There's at least three loose reds here, so he's got a chance for it to be 30 or 40 in front. And just depends on what kind of kiss he gets on the pack when he goes into them. Ideally, like to go into them earlier than that, but doesn't have the angle here. And that's a good shot now, because if he gets low on the black, he can go into them knowing that the
12.
other loose red is a certain to be on. So this is the one where he's got to get the angle. Hasn't got it.
13.
Must have been too awkward to cue.
Yes, I think he's just got a heavy contact there. Just asking Jan Bahas, referee, just to clean the cue ball. Let's just hear it again. There you see it. Just took a little bit of the pace of the cue ball, but he's still okay.
$20. $21.
There is just the one more loose red, and it doesn't appear to have an angle to go into them here. There's that loose red he'd like to get on. Oh, there's one at the back of the pack as well. That helps.
28.
He has the angle
29.
now, but could have done with a little bit more if he wanted to go into them. He's going to have to play for the loose red with that angle. See, that's the difference between the two break wheelers, isn't it? Ronnie already would have had a shot to go into them and just have options. Mark's now run out of options, so he's got one chance only to get into them after this red. And it could go wrong. Especially if he hits the front
37.
red full ball. And let's just see if Mark plays the stun up into them rather than the screw. If you screw into these, you could be on nothing. You've got to stun up into this pack. Took the risk of flicking the red out and done it nicely. Good shot.
44.
Excellent shot. Brought another one out. So this is very, very good from Mark Selby. Two different types of break bowlers on show this afternoon. Both very efficient.
Yes, he's just come a little awkward, a little straight on this black. Love to. Just had a nice angle to screw up for that loose red there. We can see into the same pocket. Now you may have to go off two cushions. Just coming around to see if there's... Yeah, you could stun off the top cushion and leave that red into the left middle also. Or even leave a red into the yellow pocket. The red on the extreme right of the bunch. That goes up into the yellow pocket as well, so... It's a good shot.
52.
Well, this is the key shot. He still needs one more cannon into the pack to make this a break of frame winning proportion.
53.
He's going to have to play the cannon here. Ideally, the three reds that are together, if he get at the middle of those three, he'd push one over the middle and he'd push one over the corner. It's a gentle screw into the pack, not a hard screw needed here. He's got just caught the first red first, but it's still okay. Just see this here. Just wanted to hit the second red. He just caught the first red. This is excellent considering he's been kept off the table for 4 frames. This is top draw. Should win the frame now.
61.
Yes, just got to judge this true green and brown, possibly. A bit of right hand side. Oh, the blue. If it's dead straight, the blue here, it's pretty straightforward. You could just screw it in with the rest.
Maybe you could reach it with the extension, but he is playing the rest. This, 67 in front with the 67 on, so any colour from this red,
66.
Ronnie will need snookers. Very well played,
67.
Mark Selby. Kept off the table for the best part of an hour. Come back very well.
Yes, Willie, this is a fantastic response. We've already had 122, 101. And this is 74 from Selby.
74.
And counting. This could be 3 centuries on the trot. Fantastic standard.
75.
And all played in a very different way, Ken, haven't they?
Black will put him 82 ahead. This break will come to 82 when he puts this black. There is still a possible 141.
Yes, both Maguire
82.
and Neil Robertson sharing the high break prize at the moment with those 2 magnificent breaks of 140.
80.
They'll be twitching a bit now in Cambridge and Scotland, respectively.
Yes, and the balls are perfect when he... Oh,
83.
Well, what a terrible shame that was, but the key thing was to win the frame. He should have won the frame with a break of 141, but importantly, he's won the frame to stay in the match. He still trails by 4 frames to 2. Not leave this opening red. Needs a brown to come to the rescue. He didn't usually leave that one, and that's turned out to be perfect.
it's just slid off the pack slightly. He has a possibility of the red into the yellow, and there's the beautiful trophy that they're playing for. Water for Crystal.
I don't know why it is when I ever see that trophy. I always think of Paul Hunter because he was one of the first ones to win that particular trophy. Sadly missed Paul, and a winner of this magnificent title on 3 occasions, and probably would have been more.
Yes, we saw some lovely footage this week, Willie, of past glories in this great championship. Paul Hunter's 3 wins featured very strongly in them. Beautiful pictures.
Did they show your Miss Black on 140, Tim?
That was not one of the past glories I was talking about.
We've all twitched, haven't we, before, Ken? And there's the only thing is, it's twitching at the right time, and that was one of the wrong ones.
I didn't like the colour of the car anyway.
It was yellow, if I remember right, wasn't it? Tough safety shot for Mark, the only reason being you can see the edge of the pack, but it's hard to cover the red up in baulk. So that's why he's playing off the side cushion, just to rest into them again. One of the world's great pool players as well, so they're always playing little shots like that, running up to balls from distance. And so Mark's as good as anybody at that kind of shot. He can play for the black here if he wants to screw in and off the side cushion. Is that right to slow up or bounce quickly?
1.
And he's played it well. Right, now this time, this is one of the packs where you can screw into them rather than stud into them. The two reds directly above it, if you play those with a screw and just screw off them, because you've got the red next to the black there. Just a fraction harder would have got it. Still okay.
8.
See, there's the screw. You see, it didn't quite get enough screw on it. The reason I say it would have been better 2 inches further, it means now he's going to have to cannon into the black. He's trying to miss the black by screwing around 2 cushions, but it makes the pot a lot more difficult if you do that. Going back to the cannon.
Nine.
Yes. Well acknowledged by the crowd. That was a good shot there from Mark. Left a lovely angle on this black. 1 red still available into this left corner pocket.
It's
16.
absolutely amazing how Mark Selby's improved. Played at my snooker club in Leicester for many, many years, and my brother Malcolm managed him early on. And you know, he was never going to be a great player, and then he changed his cue action and got very, very close to the white. If people remember watching, he used to be 4 or 5 inches away from the cue ball, and he used to kind of decelerate into it sometimes. But since he's got his tip closer to the cue ball, he virtually improved kind of 32 points overnight. And
24.
we always knew he had a great temperament. We never thought he was going to score as heavy as the most of the top players do. He now does, and that's why he's now one of the top players in the world. I know my brother Mark will be watching at home. He's unfortunately suffering with cancer at the minute, having a bit of chemo, so he'll be willing Mark on in this match. 2 at a time, and a little bit of a rush at the moment to get back into this match.
26.
He'd have liked it to stay right over the pocket. But he's definitely the most improved player in the game, without any doubt, because he was a pro 5 or 6 years, just virtually a journeyman pro, and all of a sudden became one of the game's
Yellow.
greats.
$28. $29.
A lot of players have played with glasses on, of course. Dennis Taylor was a great player playing with glasses, but I'm going to show you a man in the audience at the minute that I don't know where he got these from. Not from
37.
Dennis's opticians, I'm sure.
Must be doing some sort of deals and Specsavers again.
44.
And well, it's another well-composed break. 2 red still in the open, already on 44.
There's loads of players in our
45.
game, Ken, that are blessed with a lot of natural talent, but there's not too many who have the temperament that Mark Selby does, and that's another key thing, isn't it? A lot of players may have, you know, had the head down a bit, fall on behind, but Mark's just brushed himself down, come out fighting.
Yes, he's got a fantastic all-round game. Great competitive spirit as well.
52.
It's what needed. He's just got to judge the cannon here. This red goes, the one closest to the pack. He'd be going into the loose red as well, but he's just got to... He may be able to avoid it, but I think he's just got to play a little cannon on it and still be on the black. Well, he didn't want to take the chance, and that's okay.
53.
Brown was always over the middle, but now he's got to play Brown into middle and into the pack. And he'll need a little bit of luck here, will he?
2 ways of playing it, Ken, isn't it? You can screw into the pack. It's quite a big target doing it that way, but it's an even bigger target if you come off the top cush with a little bit of right-hand side. The only thing that can go wrong if you play off the top cush is you hit the black. So he may decide to play the screw into them rather than the one cushion.
Yes, that's the type of shot I was just talking about. May screw. Looks like he has the perfect angle. It's a big target, but he's going to need a little bit of luck. Has he got it? Has he got it? I think he has. I think this red pots. It's very close, but he still has a red into the middle. This red is very tight next to the black.
Ronnie O'Sullivan scored some 230 points without reply to go 4-1 in front. Mark Selby's just returning the compliment. This is best part of 200 points without reply. This is the key shot, though. This is virtually a frame winner. Ideally, he'd like to stun that red in the middle and come for the black in the right-hand corner, but it's just a bit tricky. So he's playing the run through. Has he gone far enough? If he has, it's
58.
definitely frame over because the red to the right of the black is a certainty. This is really top draw, this match, isn't it? First frame, 2 breaks of 30. Looked to be a little scrappy opening frame. Since then, 1 visit snooker. Very well played. Deserves to win the frame.
$63. $64. $71. $72. $79. $80.
May decide to play for the red on the cushion here to try and get the century rather than the easy loose red. Just jabbed at that a bit. Didn't quite cue that as well as he had done most of these. Probably screw up for the blue
87.
now to make the positional sense a little easier.
88.
This is really a very, very gutsy performance. You'll now be feeling on top of the world the way he's played this last 2 frames.
93.
Move the pink out now as well. Try and keep the chance of a complete clearance on.
94. $98.
Well, 300s in 4 frames and a break of 83 from Selby. The previous frame should have been 100. Missed the easiest of blacks. So it could have been 4 in 4. Doesn't get any better than this.
Yes, and the good thing about this, Willie, we're in for an absolute belter tonight. Sets up the match
107.
beautifully, no matter what happens in the last frame. This match is well poised. Exhibition shot here from Mark.
112.
Jan was nearly going to fetch the blue out there, did you see?
Well, he misses the pink, but a fantastic break of 112 from Mark Selby. He closed the gap to 4 frames to 3. So, last frame of this session. Mark Selby would ideally love to finish the session all level. Must have been 4-1 behind. Ronnie O'Sullivan, on the other hand, would love to re-establish that lead.
Yes, I think whatever happens in this frame, Mark Selby will be satisfied with this session. Ronnie O'Sullivan needs to win this frame, otherwise he'll be extremely disappointed with the session, having controlled the opening part of it. So in some ways, a bigger frame for O'Sullivan than Selby.
There's the pot success rate. O'Sullivan 94%, Selby 92%. There's the shot time. Ronnie O'Sullivan only 18 seconds. Mark Selby 22, which is still quite quick.
Yeah, the fact that Selby's just gone 83-112 has took his shot time down to 22. He was at 24. And in the game with Williams and O'Sullivan yesterday, which is probably one of the best matches I've ever seen, Williams was at something like 14 seconds a shot and O'Sullivan was at 16. Williams played quicker than Ronnie.
Yes, and this is an amazing statistic, Willie. Ronnie O'Sullivan hasn't potted a ball for 26 minutes. And sometimes when you're sitting in that chair, there's nothing you can do. And the first chance you get, particularly a long ball like this, you feel a little bit rusty.
Yeah, there's no way back into balk, is there? So the middle red of the three reds that are just near the black, if he plays safe off that one, he's got to be very, very careful he doesn't play that red into the other red and push it over the corner.
Yes, this is a possible shot. Well, it looks like he's playing the safety shot, but that was a possibility. That red, just to kind of the other red, just below the black spot, but he's not even attempting it.
Managed to avoid the kiss on the red I was talking about in the safety, and he's done pretty well there. Excellent safety shot.
Yes, and the beauty about that shot is that he's covered this red that into the bottom left-hand corner pocket. Good safety shot, but he's refused. He's refused them. He doesn't feel confident on those long ones.
This is quite an aggressive safety shot Mark's playing here. There's a couple of alternatives and he's bringing reds into play. Played it well though. Excellent safety shot.
Here's a possible safety shot. If you can leave him the white on the left-hand side of the table, Willie, it will certainly put Mark in a lot more trouble. If he leaves it up the right-hand side, it's a straightforward safety shot. So this is an aggressive safety shot. That's a perfect, absolutely perfect. That's a great shot from Ronnie O'Sullivan.
The line wasn't very good, Ken. You were about half inch out.
I hope Dennis Taylor is watching. That's all I hope.
You wouldn't have thought of that one.
Now look at the precarious position he finds himself in. Okay, this red is close to the left-hand corner pocket. He can maybe drop the white down there and just half-ball the red to the top cushion. Doesn't look like he'd be leaving anything into the bottom right-hand corner, and maybe nothing going into the middle, but he's got to judge it perfectly.
He probably knows he's going to leave one of these reds along the top for Ronnie, but if the white's close enough to the cushion, if the player pots those, good luck to him.
Something like that you could possibly put. Yeah, there's the possibility. If he can leave the white somewhere there, because he'd be blocking the path of the red that's over the left-hand corner pocket. That's the one that he's just a little bit worried about. You could put it up somewhere around into the jaws of the green pocket as well. That's another possibility.
We all love to see O'Sullivan when he's in the break building mode and making everything look very, very simple. I love it when I see him concentrating as hard as he's doing at the minute on the safety, because he very rarely, when he's concentrating like this, plays a poor safety shot. The two reds just below the pink. Now, if you can see the one directly below the pink, I think that actually pots, and he may decide to play this as a shot to nothing, because if he pots it, the cue ball will go back into baulk. This is the one that Ken's put a line up for me. That's the one I think he's looked at. Too thin, and he's had a bit of fortune there. Good fortune, that is. Not too sure whether Ronnie can get through to the red that's over the pocket. No, he can't. So that was a bit fortunate from Mark Selby. Misjudged the shot and got away with it. Well, Mark's good fortune in the safety is given an opening. At first glance, nothing straightforward. Very difficult shot when he was playing around the back of that red into baulk. He's not left anything straightforward, I don't think, for Mark. Can he get through to the red nearest the pocket? Yes, he can. Pink's available, blue's available, so he can play for choice of pink or blue. And he's on both.
1.
Well, the way he's played that maybe looked
6.
like Mark was trying to play on the red that's nearest the black, just to be able to pop that and screw around the black and get it in the same pocket. He's on choice of 3 reds, but he's got the pink in open play, so he doesn't have to worry about the black at the moment. He can win the frame from just pinks.
Seven.
What an excellent session this has been.
Just underscrewed that slightly. Still okay.
13.
Not quite sure whether the pink still pots into the left centre. So maybe back up for blue here.
14. 19.
Still a couple of shots away from making an absolute certain frame when he break this. It's just clearing those reds, just so the pink pot's in both middles as well as one of the corners. This is getting rid of one of the reds that's causing a problem. As you can see, he's left himself
20.
a little bit to do with the pink. Not too sure whether he's too thin to hold it without going in and out of balk here.
Well, he could still play on that red and balk. That's just off one cushion. Looks to be very acute angle to hold for these reds around the pink spot, so may use that red up and balk.
If he plays in and out of balk, Ken, it's tough to miss the kiss on the green if he plays it round the two cushions. He took the surprising choice, Ken. This is not straightforward, this red.
Yeah, just a little shorter pace, but
26.
you'd expect him to pot this. Hasn't missed too much in these last few frames. Looks like
27.
beautiful. Wants the white to hold up a little bit. It's just the wrong side of the blue, so next red from distance.
But this is one of the most important reds he needs to get rid of all of a sudden. If he gets on the pink off this next red after the blue, you'd fancy him to win the frame. Seems to be playing with topspin. Still managed to get the cue ball round, but it's a bonus if he gets on the one below the pink. It's not hard enough to be perfect.
32.
Thought it had just screwed back and left that red. Maybe it doesn't pass the red and black. It looks like it does from here.
Yes, and although he's very, very good with the rest, this could go wrong. He has to judge a cannon on whichever red he plays here. The one just below the pink looks the more favourable.
Yeah, we saw that picture from camera 3 that the red definitely passes there. So I don't know, Ken, why didn't just screw the blue in and leave that long red?
I think if he travelled another 6 inches, he would have been perfect on these two reds below the pink, so just didn't judge the pace. But this could go wrong. Just got to be careful with the cannon on the red. How's his luck? How's his luck? It's not good. It could be end of break.
30,
Okay, he has a tough pink to the middle, but fraught with danger. No control over the cue ball. May just play a safety. That was the problem. It was the cannon on the red. He had to judge perfectly. So it looks like just a safety. That was a good chance for Mark Selby.
Yes, he's just checking the scoreboard. 33 is not a lot, but put the pink out of play now is not a bad idea if he can. Mark missed a trick really when he was on the blue, when he went in and out of balk, because look at the position. If he just screws back 4 or 5 inches, he's left the long red. I'm not saying that going in and out of balk was the wrong shot, because if he gets on it perfect, it's the right shot, but it was a risky one. It's just gone astray since then.
Mark Selby.
But as with all good tactical players, tries to cover everything up. This time he hasn't. He can get through to this red.
Queued up very nicely indeed. Right in the heart of the pocket. Great shot. Mark would be very disappointed with that safety shot. Not only did he leave that red, but also didn't decommission the pink. So one good shot here. I think the red just left of the pink spot goes into this left-hand corner pocket between pink and black. So that would be the obvious choice. Just wants to slow up a little bit.
4.
The 4 reds to the right of the pink spot. Obviously, the pink being on its spot makes those easy, but the 3 reds at this end leaves the black onto its spot, which he can do at any stage here. Not a frame winning opportunity this where the balls are, but an excellent chance to get back into it. Getting on to the next red is not plain sailing here. 4 reds, the one to the extreme left of the 4, will pot in the right-hand corner.
Yeah, if you can pot the pink and put the white somewhere in that circle, beyond one of these reds into the right-hand corner pocket. So anywhere around that area, just below the blue, would be perfect. Well, he's overscrewed it. He may be lucky. I think he's made a nice cannon. That's a good shot. Okay, a little bit of luck, but very well played.
I must admit, Ken, I didn't think the pink was that thick that he could play that kind of shot. I thought he'd got to play your shot, to be honest. But it's one of those shots where he's trying to make his own luck, trying to develop something, any sort of kiss. He'd have been unlucky not to be on anything. And that one kiss has developed another 2 reds into play. He's trying his heart out at the minute, Ronnie, isn't he? He's really giving it 110% every shot. Both players are just queuing so nicely. 93 and 94%, but success rate is quite incredible at any level.
12.
We're in the final of a major championship. This is very, very good. 2 cushions here to be on choice of red. Just a little bit too much side. May have to play it into the baulk pocket. He played for it in the middle.
18. $19.
Well, Mark Selby did remarkably to get back from 4-1 to 4-3 and actually went favourite to win this frame when he got in first and led by 33 points. But the shot he played on the blue to go in and out of baulk was just
26.
one risk too much. He had a straightforward chance to screw the blue in. He decided to go in and out of baulk, lost position. Oh, that is class. How good is that? That is so good. He would have made a great billiard player, wouldn't he?
32.
I mean, that is just a lovely shot. But wait, there's light
33.
for Selby supporters. Not bound to get onto the next red.
Big shot on the blue or pink here. Excellent shot. Oh,
39.
beautiful shot. Very well controlled. Hard enough pot, but look at this. Oh, he avoids yellow and brown. Oh, he's got a terrible contact. And it's
40.
just taking the pace out of the white, just slightly. He's still okay. But watch the red bounce here. There you see.
This is where he'd love the black to be on its spot. Obviously, it's not. So even though he leads by some 13 points, he needs both these reds. Top red's no problem to get on the
46.
pink. The next one is a problem to get on the pink.
$47.
Can't get really close to the pink where he's finished with the cue ball.
53.
He's 20 in front. Red, pink, yellow needed. He plays this shot better than any player I've ever seen when he's running them in round 2
54.
cushions, but decided to try and make sure of the red, and the pink puts him 27 in front.
Yes, I think if he just concentrate on potting the pink and leave himself some sort of shot on the yellow, he could drop it in, or he could just stun it in. No.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 54.
I was just whispering to Ken, looking at him there. I didn't fancy him for that at all. That wasn't the bad shot. The red was the bad shot. Should have been a lot closer to the pink. Wow. This is a massive frame, isn't it?
I don't know why he just didn't try and drop it in. Even if he pots the pink or misses the pink, leaves the white tight to that side cushion. Very difficult for Mark to pot the yellow and get on the green from there. But the fact that he's left it 6 inches off this cushion makes this... Okay, there's a lot of pressure on it, but it doesn't have to do any work with the cue ball. Just middle of the white. Just top it in off the top cushion. Well, you say top it in. He's gone for the stun shot, Willie. And that was very surprising.
That's just anxious, isn't it? He'd been given a lifeline and he thought, well, I'm going to go all out for it. But the fact that Ronnie now needs yellow and green rather than just the one ball. Plain ball, he would kiss the brown, so he would have to play with just a little bit of side. He could stun it in 2 cushions. The key thing here is not finishing on the cushion to play the green. So there's the side to miss the kiss on the brown, making sure hard enough not to be near a cushion. The green, under normal circumstances, is a certainty. This is not quite normal at the minute. Massive frame to go 5-3 in front at the interval.
Just the green required. 23 points ahead. Green will be 26 with 22 left on the table. So big shot here for O'Sullivan. Well played. Got a second bite at the cherry. Sorry, Willie.
My fault, Ken. A session that Mark should have got out of it 4-4, Ken. Didn't look like he would, but he had every chance.
9. 14.
You saw Ronnie so surprised he knocked the long blue in there for some reason. Well, the session has been absolutely top draw. These two great players have treated this magnificent audience to a fabulous exhibition of snooker. Selby nearly got out 4-4. O'Sullivan won the final frame of the day to go into the evening session leading by 5 frames to 3. What a match.